Joining us today on the United SEO podcast is Jessica De Silva, account manager here at the Dubai office. How are you, Jessica?
I'm doing great, Raj. It's good to be back.
It's always great to have you on the show and always so insightful. Today's podcast, you're going to be sharing with us some of the team members that help you on the account management team when it comes to servicing clients. Now, from the outside, most people might think that the account manager does everything, but you've very humbly agreed to shed some light on some of the team members so that if a client is talking to you and wants to make certain fixes on their account, they know what resources are behind you to help that happen. So let's go through the three folks that you wanted to highlight. Who's the first?
The first will be our technical SEO developer. They are in charge of the on-site and off-site work that will be involved with managing an SEO campaign. As you know, there's a lot of technical implementation based on the results that we acquire from the initial audit. If you remember, I mentioned we have to do an audit for every campaign, regardless if they have background on SEO or not. And the technical SEO developers are the unsung heroes of the campaign. They review the campaign audit and they implement what is required to make sure it's to the T.
Okay, and that involves making changes to the names of files that live on the website. You've talked about in the past alternate text, which means if there's an image, you will actually come up with a text version of that image so that Google can read it. Would this be examples of what you're talking about?
Yes, that's one of them. Obviously, the technical SEO developer is in charge with a lot more work. I would name the most common that perhaps our clients or future clients would be most aware of. That would be the page title. So how will you describe that page so that Google will understand what is it about? The meta description, which is a short description of what that page again is about. You also look at the headers within the page. You also review the page speed. You also review whether the website structure is clean and Google-friendly and user-friendly, of course. So these are just the most common elements that our technical SEO developers will need to review and revise as needed.
So the technical team then make it very, very easy for Google to understand what's going on that page.
Absolutely.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Who is the second expert that's supporting your team?
The second expert will be our content writers. They are in charge of ensuring there is a balance within the content as it will be consumed by the users. It should include the keywords that have been agreed and allowing SEO elements to be implemented smoothly within the page content, from headers to body text and any other internal pages content.
So they've got to strike the balance between what Google understands to be on the website so that it can recommend users to it, but also when traffic does come to the website, they want to stay there because the words actually read in a very nice way. Is that the best way to describe it?
Exactly. It should be relevant to the users.
Okay, that sounds like an incredible skill set. Okay, and talk to us about the third and final expert on your team that's supporting your clients.
The third experts will be our website designers and developers. They are in charge of the user experience and user interface. User experience pertains to the functionality of the website. For example, you have an e-commerce site. The customer should be able to take the action on your website by selecting the product, checking out, proceeding to your purchase. If you have an email or call button, it should be easily clickable. User interface pertains to the artistic and design elements. Most of the companies will have their branding guidelines, and this should be incorporated smoothly with the over interface and design of the website.
Okay, so is there an overlap then between the technical developer and the UX UI team? Because it sounds like maybe those roles overlap a little bit.
No, not necessarily. Both teams respect their own expertise and disciplines. There could be changes on the website as to follow the Google algorithm, and you don't necessarily need to change the front end or the overall website design. But our technical SEO developer can make those changes from the back end smoothly and as regular as required by your campaign.
Okay, that makes a ton of sense. Well, thank you so much, Jess, for highlighting that and shedding some light on the fantastic team that support you when you give your feedback to clients in your monthly meetings. Again, thanks so much for joining us, Jess, and we'll speak to you on the next episode.
Always a pleasure.